Hello, team, and Happy New Year. It is New Year's Eve, December 31st. This is our last Lunch and Learn of the decade. 2019 ends tonight. I hope that you have all taken a little time to kind of think about the year that you've had. For many, this was a really spectacular year. I mean, think about how many of you are at a new level right now than you were at the start of this year. That's a lot of you. In fact, I think, I have the number posted somewhere of how many of you it is. I have it in the announcements, but it's definitely in the teens where we had people promote to a new level. So many of you have a new title than you had at the start of 2019. Many of you have a paycheck that looks a whole lot better than it did at the start of 2019. We certainly have all new people that we've met. We have a whole new bunch of customers and new team members and wonderful new people in our life, all because of this business. Think about what our team looked like in January and like who wasn't on it. We didn't know Jennifer Dennis or Kathleen Gabriel in January. Did we even know Jessica Christian? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that we did not have in our life back in January that we now have in our life quite regularly here on New Year's Eve. So even if you're thinking like, oh, I didn't have the year that I wanted to have, or I know it can be better, I do want you to think about all of the wonderful things that you did have. And of course, not just in your business, but in your whole overall life. I mean, some of you had babies this year and new nieces and nephews and new grandchildren and moved to a new house. There was just a lot of great things that went on. And I just think that all of that is something to really be proud of when you're looking over your overall year. And I'm just so thrilled to be a part of all of your lives and for you all to be part of my life. So what I was looking at, and I don't even remember where I came across this, but what I thought would be fun, we love our trackers, right? And one thing that we have really learned as a team is that trackers are winners. So when you are tracking something, that's when you achieve it. When you want to promote to area, using standard procedure, you write 5,000 at the top of a piece of paper, you write 1, 2, 3, 4, you fill in the first name with the person who promoted you to branch, and then the rest of it, the next 3 names have to be other people's names, right? That's a tracker. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A tracker can be something you write on a piece of paper and fill in. It can be something super deluxe from Kim Osterreich's son, where we're, following the Limerick all the way to Dublin, which I'm sure is coming soon. There's all kinds of fancy trackers. But I do find that the things that we use a tracker for are the things that I personally get done. When I am mindful of putting my book 4 in the left-hand column of my calendar, I book 4 shows in that week. When I don't write them down in that week or even that whole month, I will definitely go a whole month without making sure that I book 4 shows each and every one of those weeks. And then I wonder why 60 to 90 days later, my business is slower. Because what you do today affects your business 60 to 90 days out. So if you have nothing in January, chances are that means that you were not really hustling for that back in October. It's not that you didn't do in December. It's typically that you didn't do in October. Just like if your March stinks, chances are you weren't working in January. So when I saw this tracker, and I posted this as part of the reminder for the Lunch and Learn, I said, this is unbelievable because it could be used in so many different ways. Now, the first place I actually shared this was in the gym that me and Belinda and Donna go to, and a couple of others have a Facebook group. And I shared it there, and they actually printed these out and gave them out at the gym today, but they also approved the post. What it is it's each month of the year, And then it's just marked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for however many days are in that month. So October has 31, January has 31, so on and so forth. So that every day, in the case of the gym, every day you work out, you color it in. And of course, the goal would be to see as little white as possible at the end of the year. So of course I thought of that, but then I said, gosh, there are so many ways that you could use this in your business. So I narrowed it down to my 2 favorites, but we can certainly talk about others today on this call. But what I was thinking was, so there are, like I said, there's a little section in each, a little spot for each day of the entire month. Now, in no universe do we need to work 7 days a week here at Park Lane. You might think you work 7 days a week, especially the upper level leaders, but you really, a lot of that time you're actually just thinking about working. You're not actually working, and that's not part of working. Unless you're intentionally sitting down to strategize and think and plan. Thinking is part of working, but just when you're sitting on the couch watching TV and thinking about how you're supposed to be booking shows, that's not working. That definitely does not count. Even though it totally feels like it does count, but it definitely does not. So, the first way, and the way that I think I have decided to use this in my business, is for power hours. Because remember how when we talked about the power hour, now some of you are watching this for the very first time, the power hour, in a real quick summary, is that every day, well, not every day that you decide to work, if you're super part-time, 2 days a week works. If you are somewhere between part and full-time, then 3 or 4 days work. And if you are an full-timer, or you are an upper level leader who wants to be a full-timer, or just an upper level leader with a team that you like to really focus and really crank out your business, then 4 to maybe even 5 days a week is where you want to do your power hour. But your power hour, remember, is that you have 4 areas of your personal business that you need to work on each of the days that you are deciding to work your business. So when I say every day, I mean the amount of days a week that you've chosen: 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 or 5. And those 4 areas are, number 1, reaching out for your booking contacts, reaching out to get new shows booked on your calendar. A booking, remember, is a name written in your book, not a person that said, yeah, I'll host, and then falls off of Facebook Messenger in that precise moment. Okay, so a booking is a name and a date written in a calendar. So doing 15 minutes, no matter what, of reaching out to people for booking new shows. Category number 2 is your recruiting contacts, spending 15 minutes on the day that you're working, reaching out to people that at some point have expressed interest in the business, reaching out to a past team member that you could welcome back to the business, somebody that you just think would be great, an upcoming hostess to talk to about the business, a past hostess, somebody who once mentioned that they love Ireland, anything that makes them a recruit lead. 15 minutes reaching out to people and having those conversations no matter what. 15 minutes of working with your hostesses. So that can be something as simple as taking a picture of your Aspen earrings that you just received and sending them out to your January and February hostesses and saying, oh my gosh, I just got new earrings. I'm going to definitely bring these to your show. What do you think? That's just a quick touch to your upcoming hostesses. It can be reaching out to them to see how their invitations are going, sending them a second version of their invite to text out that looks different than the first one. People that are a little further out, reaching out to them with just a save the date image they can use. Just something that has you reaching out to your hostesses 15 minutes, no matter what. And then 15 minutes of customer care. So checking in on the most recent delivery, or the delivery before that, or the delivery before that, or the 15th delivery before that, whatever far back you have to go in order to get that done. 15 minutes no matter what. Now, think about how many contacts that is. Now, for some of you, doing those 15 minutes all in a row to do one solid hour will be what works best. So if you know that, like Donna has her morning job, and then she generally works her Park Lane in the afternoon. So she may choose that on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's her power hour. And when she first leaves the office, you know, she eats her lunch. And then from 1 until 2 o'clock, she does this power hour. And then that's how she does it. So I'm not saying that's what she does do. I'm giving that as an example. So that would be an example of something Donna could do. Whereas Ashley homeschools and has all, you know, little kids around doing all kinds of activities. She might choose to do her booking contacts from 10:15 to 10:30, then get back to jobs with the kids, then to do her, you know, customer care follow-up from 1 to 1:15. And then maybe she does 30 minutes at night after they go to bed for her other 2 topics. This is the beauty of the power hour, is that you work it to your schedule on the days that work best for you. Because if you're looking at your calendar and saying, oh my God, Tuesdays are out of the question. I volunteer at school, I have my part-time job, I have this, I have that, then Tuesdays is not a day you do your power hour. That's the beauty of what you get to do when you are making the decisions for your business and when you are doing what you want to do. So Tuesdays are out. That means that you're picking from the remaining days of the week. Maybe you have 2 days a week that are out of the question. Maybe Sundays are a day that you choose to absolutely not work. Okay, so then Tuesday is out, Thursday is out, Sunday is out. That means that you need to have the discipline to absolutely do this Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and possibly Saturdays, depending on the level of work you need to put into your business. So if you were to use this for your power hour, you can orient it any way you like. So if you want January, since January 1st, to be at the top, then I would write up here, Power Hour 2020. And then you need to make sure, you know, see how many power hours are you doing. Did you do a power hour on the 1st? You get to color that in. Did you do it on the 2nd? No. Did you do it on the 3rd? So that when you count at the end of January, you're going to see how many days you really did a power hour. All 4 parts. Because you don't just get to decide, oh, I don't really like customer care. People tell me their necklace is broken. I'm skipping that one. No, that is not how you get follow-up business. Ask Belinda. She'll tell you how she'll turn a broken necklace into a $400 order in a booking each and every time. Besides that, you don't want that person with a broken necklace sitting around in society with it because she's telling everyone she knows about it. Whereas if you call her, you find out it's broken, you handle it and even send her a pair of Encore earrings for her inconvenience, now she's telling everybody how great your customer service is, and it's really more about you than Park Lane. And that's what we want. We're the face of Park Lane. That's why when customer service screws things up, I fix it, because to my customers, I am Park Lane. To your customers, you are Park Lane. The home office is just a brand. It's just the faceless, nameless people. And frankly, so is the customer to, you know, Vanessa and Lourdes and Sally. No offense to them, but they're getting a regular weekly paycheck, whether that person's necklace is broken or not. We only get paid when Susan with the broken necklace is happy. Right? So we have to take control of that, and we can be annoyed at whatever policy, this, that, but just handle it. You are the face of Park Lane to your customers. So always remember that when you're thinking about, do I want to be mad about this, or do I want to handle it and make people happy and end my day, end this problem by fixing it myself, right? You can orient the page this way. You can also turn it this way, because then January is running up the side, and that's still cool too. And you can put, you know, Power Hour 2020. So if you're someone 2 days a week that you're going to do power hours, then you should see 10 at the end of January. Actually, January kind of covers 1, 2, 3, like 5 weeks on a calendar, the way it's laid out on the actual book. So I would actually look for 12 in a month like January. And if you see, oh my gosh, I did 3, then you know you're way off track, and you have that color in to remind you that in February, you want to see way more color ins. so that you can improve from January to February. So it's not like, oh, I messed up this tracker, I'm throwing it out. The tracker reminds you, I didn't have enough color ins in January. I need to fix that in February, and I want to beat my best. That's what I love about this too. You can always look to beat your best. Oh my gosh, I did 12 power hours in January. I'm going to go for 13 in February. Even though there's fewer days, I know I can do it. And then maybe in March, you're going for 14. So that's what I love about this too, is that you have it in front of you the whole year to beat your best. So remember, you're only coloring it in when you've done all 4, not for each part of the power hour. The only way you'd have enough squares to do that is if you're somebody who's only going to do them twice a week to begin with. But however you use it, you can even put a little, code for yourself here, so that you'll know which ones you did. However you want to do it, you can make, if you want to color in each one, all 4 colors. So let's say orange is going to be your booking contacts and green is your recruiting contacts. You'll at least know if you color in 2 sections of one of these little squares, you did 2 of them. But I would really rather you see that you do all 4 and color them in and then stay consistent with it. Now, a second option that I would put out there for you would be to use this for the book 4. So each week our goal, right, is to book 4 new shows. So if you use this as that you color in a square each day that you book a show, then you'll see how many weeks you do a book 4. So you could do that also, but I feel like book 4 naturally comes out of the power hour. So if you choose to do it with the power hour, you'll see more improvement and you will naturally receive the book 4 if you are making consistent booking contacts and doing consistent customer care and consistent host coaching, because when you do consistent host coaching, more guests are at the show, which provides you more people to meet to book again, to book, for future shows. So I've been talking for a while. What are your thoughts on this? Do you see a different way that you would like to use it, or what are your thoughts on what we talked about so far?
I think it's great, and it's going to keep us accountable, especially if it's in front of your face, almost like a vision board.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely will be doing this. I don't know how I'm going to be doing both on one tracker, which is the gym and the
No, 2 separate.
cycling. 2 separate ones.
Definitely. I'm going to print
Okay.
out 2. I'm printing out one for the gym, and I'm going to write workouts. That way, if I take a walk, if you want to try this for your fitness too, what I thought I would do is one color if it's a walk. That way, because sometimes if I miss the gym, I'll just at least make sure I take the dog for a walk or something. So I'll use that. That way I know that that was a walk day. And then whatever other color for going to FitBody, or even if I have to go to Crunch right here for something else or whatever. But I'm going to have absolutely a separate one. I might even do one of them this way and one of them this way, so it's totally different. Because I think once you choose how to orient it and put the title at the top, it will look completely different.
You'll know, yeah.
But I'm definitely doing one for fitness and one for business, and I'm going to put a title at the top of each. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
I love this, Michelle. I already printed mine, so I'm
awesome.
Getting ready.
Awesome.
I really like it. I like it a lot. I think I didn't have a tracker for the last several months of this year. And I remember when I had the tracker to win St. Martin's, and that kept me on track. It really does. Tracking keeps me on track. But I like what you just said, because I intend to go to the gym this year. And so I could do both of them. And I do walk buttons, at least. I haven't walked in a couple of days, but that'll be good for me. I think it's great. I like it. And I like the 4 power hour pieces that you put in there. So that'll make it, like Belinda said, makes me very accountable, and I'm ready for that again. Thanks.
I love keeping a tracker. Like, So I have this like storage thing here that's right next to my computer screen, and neat people put the folder all the way in it. Mine sticks out because I don't know how to put things away. So this one, see how these pages like, see what I'm saying? Like this is supposed to be all the way in. Okay, but I leave it sticking out a little because God forbid I should have to actually look for anything. I'd rather just see what's on the edge of the paper and pull it out. That's the script for the welcome call and some training stuff for you guys. But what's always been on the front is the trip tracker. So the very first piece of paper right here next to my face, we don't have, I didn't start the new one yet. That's why it's not here now. But always this first one right here. And I get like antsy if I don't get to color it in like almost pretty much every day. So this allows me to do it every day.
I like
you know, because it is a task every single day. It's, in a power hour, there's 4 tasks. Leaders, you may also want to consider, I know that to have 3 trackers seems ridiculous, so maybe you want to use a different system, or if you do love this one a lot, but remember our power hour for leaders, you know, there's also working with your new people, working with your business builders, working with your future leaders, working with your current leaders. Those are your 4 groups, right, that we talked about at the leader retreat. Are we working with each of those people on a weekly basis? So you may want to think of how you want to better track doing that as well. Maybe this isn't the right tracker for that, but it's something to keep in mind, because this is 100, what we just talked about here is 100% personal business, and leaders tend to let this fall by the wayside when the team grows fast and rapid, which quite a few of you experience. But you see what happens is when you get so caught up in doing all your team stuff, that what happens, we turn the page and the tumbleweed blows out because we have no shows, because we let our personal business go for too long. So that's why I think everybody needs to do a personal business power hour one, but then as leaders, maybe you want to have a system of some sort to keep yourself on track with working with the 4 groups of people in your group, which we will talk about on our leader call on Thursday, because we will do that on Thursday.
Have like different color highlighters on the same page and just have like a little legend on the side.
I'm all about a key, a legend or a key of some sort, definitely. Thank you for bringing out my old social studies teacher terms. I always like when I can we talk about a compass in some way as well, then we'll have fully gotten everything out there. But, oh, Becky, are you okay?
I was sprinting when I got on the call. So
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were emotional or just sweaty or what was happening there. Okay.
That's why I keep turning off my camera.
No, I mean, listen, you always look pretty. I just was making sure you weren't emotional or talk about something. Okay. So, for the recording purpose of this, because I want this to be the only thing on this recording so people can go back to it really all year, because this is a tracker that you can pick up with any new team member at any time that they join. So if someone joins in March, then they start this in March. Anytime somebody on your team wants to turn a new leaf and have a new habit set, or you yourself, if you right now are not feeling it, but you feel it all of a sudden in April, then you can start this in April. So I do want this to be the only thing on this recording. So I'm going to stop the recording unless anybody else has anything else to add for this. And then I do want to continue on to just talk about a little bit with the trip requirements, okay? But does anyone else want to add any thoughts on this tracker?
I think one thing too that's really cool that you'll be able to see is your trends through your business through the years, that like the accountability that everyone else has mentioned, you can't argue with what you're doing. And so you're really going to be able to focus in on those 30 and 60, 90 days out, watching to see, okay, my January was not very colored in. And so how has that affected my March? You're going to really get that full map of everything. And so it's going to be cool to see that, okay, like if my January, February, March wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be, you're going to make that adjustment and then see how much more colored in your May, June, July, the rest of the year is, and to see that trend and that growth, and then also be able to put, numbers on that. And it's just, I think it's really cool to visualize for us that are visual learners. It's a cool thing to be able to see also.
And in this industry, we tend to be the visual learners. This is where you find your creative types, and that's why our desks tend to look like this, and because it tends to be those creative minds that know just enough, like my math is just enough to do the stuff I need to do with you guys and track my own stuff. But when it comes to like really figuring out math things, not my forte, but certainly I can visualize a lot of things and come up with fun trainings because of I'm more that brain. And most of us here tend to be that. It's great even if you're working with a team member who's saying, I'm struggling with my team member who, okay, have her start it right then. Is she doing this tracker? Is she doing a power hour? If she has nothing colored in, then we know that she needs help with how to make the contacts, and maybe it's a skill problem. Does she know who to contact? Does she have the words to say? Does she know how to create a contact? I don't have any recruit leads. Well, did you meet anybody at your last show that was super fashionable, that put together the jewelry really well? That's how you can call someone up and say, you know what? This is going to sound like weird, but I can't stop thinking about you. You did my job better than I do my job. Have you ever thought about doing something like what I do? That's how you create your own recruit lead, because you see something in someone that they have not even seen in themselves. There may be times that it's more appropriate to put a little extra time into a different category, because if you have no shows on the calendar, some extra customer care can help solve that. So maybe you do double on your customer care time to help find more booking contacts. So great. Well then, I think this will be great to, I'm going to repost this clean with the recording of this, so that then we can start a thread on who's committed to it. Let's get everybody, we'll start doing some raffles with show me that you printed it and put your name on it and get a raffle ticket, kind of like we do with trip trackers. Because I think to do something year long like this, people could really enjoy seeing the growth. And by people, I mean us as well. All of us individually. So I'm going to stop the recording, but then I do just want to quick go over a couple of trip things, okay?
Just something really quick.
Yeah.
Just to add to what Jen said. I know that I normally track my sales monthly on the dashboard, what we did last January to this January, all that stuff, but I never really track my paycheck from January to this January. So I think that I'm going to be adding that to my tracker. How much did I really make last January to this January? Or, and every month after that, so that it can keep me accountable, because that's really what drives us. It's how much you're really getting paid. Mm-hmm. So if we're not making dollars, all this tracking is not, I mean, in my head at least, is not helping. So, I saw my check this week, and that was a big NO. So I really got to work on that last 2 weeks of December, all the time. And of course, the beginning of January. So I think writing down my paychecks, what they are monthly, with every week, that's going to definitely help at least me out.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that's great about fully using your planner. In your planner, we're paid weekly. Put your paycheck down on Fridays, so that then next year you can see week to week what you were paid and what was your total at the end of the month. when you see a big decline, you can take a look back. What was the difference? Was it my personal sales? You know, did I not have the same amount of shows? Did I not have personal recruiting happening that month? Because you see a big difference when you have 3 personal recruits working than when you have no personal recruits working, but like areas under you working. That's 3% versus 15. So that type of stuff is really important. And that's why you do need some thinking time each month as well, where you're thinking, where you're taking a look and taking stock of, why was my paycheck less? Why was my paycheck more? What can I do more of to get my paycheck to look like this one all the time? You know, and what can I do to make sure I never see this one ever again? So I love that. Let me just stop the recording.